Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to this absolutely garbage podcast. I'm your host. My name is Lars, I think, and I'm just gonna go ahead and just mention a bit of the. How do I say it? Fuck. I just started recording and I'm already fucking up. I'm just going to talk about a summary of what we talked about in the last episode. The last episode, if you don't know, if you watch the first one I made, the last episode was actually in my main channel. It was in Spanish. I'm planning on doing this back and forth, just 1 week in Spanish, 1 week in English. So if you don't wanna watch both or you can't, I'm just gonna go ahead and make a small summary of the things we mentioned. The topics in last week's podcast were the Ariana Grande concert in Manchester and whatever happened there. We also talked about Facebook allowing anime titties in the website. Now they're considered artistic depictions of female breasts, so they are allowing that. The other thing we talked about was the fighting game Skullgirls, which I'm a fan of, but I'm honestly really bad at. They finally released an Android and iOS version of that game, which is, I have to say, I tried it and it's really good, but it runs terribly on my phone, so I can't really play it. I played it decently on a friend's phone, and I honestly recommend anyone to try that. It's really good. The other thing we talked about was the Street Fighter versus Darkstalkers comic finally releasing, or at least finally making it into my home. That's a really nice comic, which I would recommend to any comic book fan or Street Fighter slash Darkstalkers fan. I think it's very good, and I think there's many things to love in that comic. I still only have issue number 1, and I'm waiting to have enough money to get all the other issues. But whatever, I still recommend it. Next thing, we talked about a bit about game and video game console collecting. I went on and how I want to get all these systems. I want to get like a Dreamcast and an Xbox just to play Jet Set Radio 1 and 2. And how I want to get like a PS3, a PS4, and a PS Vita just to play Shin Megami Tensei games, especially Persona games. The other thing we talked about was Overwatch. Finally, having an anniversary, I got back into the game after not playing for a long time, and I got back into it. As I said, it's nice. Overwatch is a good game. I just got tired of it, but the anniversary stuff is really enjoyable. Anyway, let's go ahead. The last things we talked about were Life is Strange 2 being announced. It wasn't like breaking news, I just commented on it. We also talked about a small thing in my hometown, or the city I live in, more like. The mayor just pushed for free bus rides for transsexual people, which I don't think it's bad, but I think it's really not needed. I think there's other minorities that might need it more than transsexual people. Not to hate on them, but I don't think free bus rides are going to make their lives better. So that's what I think. I think it's pointless. Anyway, the last thing we talked about was E3, which is happening in not so much, but we still can't comment on much else that I already said. I basically just mentioned the games I'm looking forward to, and not much else. The rumors and all that stuff. And now that we've made this already long summary, let's go ahead. I'm going to keep on doing this thing that I want to be like the usual stuff we do here. before getting into today's topics, I'm gonna go ahead and open up a Pokemon TCG pack of cards. So here I go. Alright, I have this pack here. It's from, in the first episode I opened up one from Sun and Moon, the base set, but this one is from the Guardians Rising set. It's still in Spanish, but it's Guardian Rising if you live anywhere else. So I'm just gonna go ahead and open this shit up. I'm just hoping there's something good in here, because I haven't got almost anything nice from my Guardians Rising packs. I hope this one is better than the others, but I really can't. I really can only hope. The energy in this one is like steel. Steel is the type. I was gonna say metal. So let's swiftly go ahead. I didn't have this one, so that's good. I think I had that one. Beware, I didn't have this one. I know it was actually really decent in the pre-release event. A friend of mine had it and won a couple of games with it. Snorant I already had. Pancham I already had. What's this? Litwick I think I already had. Patrat I of course already had. Geodude I don't think I had. I think I only had Graveler. This one's gonna be the reverse holo, and it's I don't know what's the name of the card in English. I think I didn't have it, and it's still a reverse, so that's cool. And the rare is, well, I think that makes the whole evolution line. I was expecting something more, but I'm not too disappointed. I mean, it's still like it's gonna be like a 20-cent card, but it's okay. I try to get different cards, not just valuable ones. As long as I can get like all the rares in a set, I'm fine. I don't just want to get $20 cards or whatever. I'm fine. I'm not gonna act like I'm super disappointed. Anyway, now that we are done with this, let's move on to the topics that I want to talk about. Alright, so the first thing I have written down was, I think many of you will know what happened with supposedly comedian Kathy Griffin. She did a photo shoot where she had a controversial picture, to say the least, where she was holding up President of the United States Donald Trump's head, like decapitated head, which honestly I think it's like how do I say it? Disrespectful. It's disrespectful, but I don't really care if it is. I think it's a bit violent, excessive maybe. But it's obviously looking for shock value, so I can tell that. It's not that I really mind what she did. I think I have to be okay with things like that. But what I'm really not okay with, and what I think most people weren't okay with, was sort of like this hypocrisy, because people like her would usually criticize shock value humor or shock value stuff in general like that from the other side of the political spectrum, but they still do. They sometimes do this sort of like double standard stuff. You know what I think you know what I'm trying to get to. What I don't like is this like double standard. They do some excessive stuff, like this one, like this thing that just happened. She basically had a picture with the president's head on her hand, like bloody and stuff. And as I said, I think I have to be okay with that. If I want to make edgy jokes in the future, I have to say, well, okay, I let you do your edgy joke. Now you have to let me do mine. I think that's what I want to get to. But I feel like I don't know. Maybe we are getting into a point where we're just going back and forth. We're just someone does one thing and we don't even know who started it, and then the other side says it's not okay, but then the other side does it too, because if one did it, the other one can, and we're constantly pointing out each other's hypocrisy, but actually all we are doing isn't. It's not like we are hypocrites. We are just trying to hit back, and we are not doing it okay. So, as it was expected, she was heavily criticized for doing this. I think it was really to be expected. And she apologized. She took the picture down. Whatever. I don't really mind. But a few days later, after this happened, she went on and on about how Donald Trump's family was trying to ruin her life because of what she did. Um, and I think that in a case like this, as I said, if you want to give, you have to be able to take. So if I want to make 80 jokes, I have to learn to take 80 jokes. If she wants to make some disrespectful shit, she has to take that some people will be disrespectful back to her. So I'm just pointing out, if you want to give, you have to take as well. There's no, I don't think we should allow double standards like this. And speaking of double standards, I also wanted to talk about what happened with the Wonder Woman movie, which already came out, but when I was reading the list of topics for this episode, it was still in the middle of the week, so it hadn't come up yet. Wonder Woman, the movie. As some of you might know, there was some theater, I don't even know where, which was advertising a woman's only screening of the movie. What I mean by this is the movie, the theater that day would be only run by women. Only women would be able to attend the movie, and it was like a few sessions, so it doesn't really matter. It's not like I mind that they want to do this. I have a few problems. The first one is the double standards, which I already explained. I think we wouldn't be able to do this like the other way around. It's only accepted to do this just for women because it's generally believed that women are in a position of in a minority position basically in society, and as men are perceived to be like the majority, the oppressors in our society, they wouldn't be allowed to do the same. It's not like I want them to do the same. It's just that I don't like this mentality of I am able to do it but you aren't, because basically because of something we are born with, which is being a man or a woman. And what else? I wanted to say something about this and I'm already forgetting. Fuck. Hold up. Let me cut for a second. Let me remember. All right. What I wanted to say is one thing I'm not really okay with is I don't mind that they want to do a women's only screening. Like, I'm not against the action itself, but I'm against the mentality that makes these actions happen. Like, I feel like if women feel the need to make a women's only screening for a movie that I get it, it's Wonder Woman, it's like a female empowerment icon, but it's not like it's a feminist movie. It's slightly people feel like it's as I said, as it's a girl's power character. If people feel like it's a feminist movie, but it's not really a feminist movie, so it's actually dumb that they are doing like this women's only screening and stuff. I feel what I'm not okay with is this mindset, this almost paranoid mindset that they are so oppressed, not really oppressed, even I would say endangered they feel so endangered that they feel the need to take the theater all for themselves, which I wasn't even gonna go to the theater, so it's not like I personally think it's bad. Like whatever, do your thing, but I don't like that you're being so paranoid. I think that this paranoia is going too far. As I said, it's not the consequences, it's more like the cause. What I'm not okay with. And moving on to the next thing, it's actually tied into the Wonder Woman topic. The Wonder Woman topic, there's actually like a bit of a dilemma going on with the movie, because as I already mentioned, Wonder Woman is like this girl power character, and feminists, in average, I want to say, wanted to see this movie, were excited for this movie because it was like some sort of symbolic thing, and okay, I can give them that. The actress who played Wonder Woman, which is called who's called Gal Gadot, already mentioned in an interview that she thinks Wonder Woman is a feminist, and obviously this is going to make people flock to the theaters like, oh my god, I want to see this feminist movie. But also from the same side of the spectrum, the feminist, leftist, kind of social justice side of the spectrum, there was like a total different thing which changed their minds. Like they want to see the movie because it's some sort of feminist stuff, but they don't want to see the movie because the actress who plays Wonder Woman was a soldier in Israel, and she fought. She fought for Israel, and you know how a lot of people, you know how sensitive some people are in this kind of topic. I live in Europe, so not that many people mind it, but the progressive mindset all over the world always seems to have been against Israel, because they are basically they were just basically placed in the middle of a country that wasn't technically theirs, and the international community said this place is now yours, and of course all these conflict happened, and progressive people are really against this almost forced conflict. So for these people, it's kind of like the mindset of, I want to see this movie because it's feminist and it's progressive, but I don't want to see it because I would be supporting Israel. I have to boycott the movie because it's an Israeli soldier and I'm really against that, but I have to support it because it's feminist. You know what? I found it kind of funny. I'm still not interested because I didn't really care about Wonder Woman, like never. So I'm just like, whatever. It's a decent DC film, which is a nice change of pace. But I don't really care about the character, so whatever. It's already bad enough that I went to see Suicide Squad just because I was curious and I wasted my money watching that. I really don't want to see Wonder Woman. I would prefer to watch Alien Covenant, which is actually the next topic that I had written down to talk about. Alien Covenant. Some people love it, some people not so love it. It's said that it's a decent movie. Some people say it's better than Prometheus. Some people say it's not so good. But I think the general agreement is that it's not terrible. It's enjoyable, but it's not. It's just not as good as an Alien movie should be. Like movies within the Alien franchise have been Alien, Aliens, which I both really love, and then we got Alien 3, which I despised. I think it was boring as fuck. And then there's Alien Resurrection, which is really stupid. And then you got, well, if you wanna count Alien vs Predator, I think the first movie was enjoyable lore wise, and the second movie was just a dumb action film, and it's really forgettable. And then you got Prometheus, which is sort of like this sort of, it feels like a prequel to Aliens. Lore wise, I think it's a prequel because they explain the origins. And well, now you have Alien Covenant. I mean, judging from Alien and Aliens, the standards for an Alien movie are high, but judging for all the rest of the movies, they are not so high. Like all the movies that have been done after Aliens aren't really excellent. So it's not difficult to be better than those movies, but it's still really difficult to be up to the standards that Alien and Aliens set. So I don't know. Maybe if I have the time, I'm gonna see Alien Covenant. I don't think I'm gonna make it in time. Maybe it's gonna be out of theaters in a few days. So I'm maybe not gonna able to maybe not able to see it. Whatever. I would like to see it. Um, if you've seen it, please let me know what you thought about it. Um, I'm not excited. Like I'm just gonna go with a pessimistic mindset. I'm gonna go say thinking like it's gonna be just okay, and if it's good, I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm not really picky when I'm going to see movies. I had fun watching Suicide Squad, even if I thought it was bad. I liked a lot of dumb movies in the cinema, so I'm not too picky. I think I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm just going to lower my standards so I enjoy it even more. Um, the next topic is actually completely different to Alien Covenant. Well, not absolutely different, but unrelated. I've written down Angry Video Game Nerd, and this I have to tell like a bit of a backstory to this topic. Um, only how do I say it? When I was a kid, I didn't have an internet connection in my house. My father was against it because he thought it was gonna ruin my childhood, mine and my sisters. He thought that we were gonna become shut-in people who never go outside. Our grades were going to get worse. It sounds like some extreme mindset, and in some ways it is. But I could survive. I could survive without an internet connection. Only 3 years ago, actually, when I first joined. When I first got into university, only 3 years ago, I got an internet connection in my house. So, Angry Video Game Nerd was a YouTube channel, YouTube series, which was actually very popular before that, and now it's just some almost nostalgic stuff because people know it from watching it a lot of time ago, like around I don't know 2009, 2010 maybe. Many people love it. I hadn't had the chance to see a lot of episodes from AVGN, and last week, I'm not saying I didn't watch any episodes before last week. I actually watched many of them, but last week I just went on just a marathon. I binge watched almost every single episode of AVGN. You have to take into account that's like maybe almost 24 hours of content, and I devoured it in just 1 week maybe. I think I might be missing a couple of episodes, but I think I have seen every single episode from AVGN, which is actually it was actually very enjoyable, and now have a ton of respect for James Rolfe and the channel itself, Cinemassacre. I love them now. I feel like I'm late to the party, but they are just fucking amazing. That channel is beautiful. I enjoyed a lot all the time that I spent just watching these videos, and not only AVGN, all the different shows that they have in there. I can say nothing but I recommend them a lot, and kinda related to this, I'm talking about to Cinemassacre. This morning, I just heard about something that happened with Cinemassacre. It seems like someone in Reddit took a screenshot of a video where Mike Matei, which is a friend of James Rolfe, took a screenshot of a video which showed Mike Matei sitting down holding up a PS4 box, and the screenshot highlighted his apparently, supposedly, huge penis, and I'm not joking. Um, I want to say look it up because I don't wanna give too much detail, but the picture just showed his giant penis, and people were like, "What the fuck? This guy has just a huge dick." And it apparently became some sort of like short span meme. People on Reddit were talking about it, and Mike Matei heard about the all these comments, and apparently he posted himself a picture of just his dick and like a ruler to measure it, and people are saying that it was 10 inches long. I obviously haven't seen it because I don't want to ruin my my image of himself in my mind. But holy fucking shit, like what the fuck? What timeline are we living in? Like Donald Trump becomes the president of the United States. A frog, a frog from a comic book is considered a hate symbol. Uh, People left and right are becoming like madmen, and now Mike Matei just posts his giant penis online. This timeline, I feel like I'm going insane. I might just be in a coma, and dreaming all this stuff because I sometimes believe what I'm living in doesn't make sense. Whatever. Let's just move on. Let's leave these giant penises behind, and let's move on to some sort of personal topic I want to talk about. As I mentioned a few times before, I write stories and characters from time to time. I think last episode I mentioned writing these stories or rewriting them, adapting these stories to younger audience, like to sell those as children's stories, basically. And it's not like some of those of you who know me or who watched other videos of mine. I'm not like necessarily PC. I'm not. I'm definitely not a social justice warrior. I think I am a conservative, if anything, and that's the only label I can give myself because I just don't like a lot of change in my life. So I'm just a conservative, and that goes for politics too. Um, and this sort of has something to do, as I'm trying to write stories for kids, and also considering the context of these stories. My stories. Hold on, let me explain. My stories like cover to some extent time traveling and traveling around the world. So I feel like for realistic purposes, I feel like I need to have characters that are very different to one another. Like they are from very different nationalities, ethnicities, backgrounds. Just because if my characters, like many main characters from the story I write, are from Europe or from America, but if they have to go around the world and have to go to Asia, to Africa, to South America, they are not going to meet European people. I need to have people that make sense. If they travel to South America, they're probably going to meet a lot of Latino people. So I just feel it's not like I want to feel a diversity quota. I just want to. I just want to write diverse characters for the sake of realism, because my story involves traveling. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna write my story in Tokyo, but there's this Latino man, this black trans woman, there's people from all nationalities, but it's set in a country where not many immigrants live, so it wouldn't make much sense. I need to have diverse characters, not only because I like variety, and I think variety helps people enjoy things. They're not going to enjoy a book where all characters are the same. I need to write really different characters so they enjoy all the variety, the change of pace between one character and the other. And I don't know. I've been thinking about all this. I feel like I need to write many more characters from other backgrounds, because I just have like protagonists and antagonists from mainly white countries. Not only because they are white, like I am white, so I write white characters, but because Europe as a continent is almost like one super country. North America rules the world. Russia is also very powerful, so I write Russian characters, like European characters from different countries. I write American characters. I have to mention that I have characters which are basically famous people, so that those famous personalities probably are from those kind of countries. If I have maybe I have someone from Latin America, for example, or from a different place, like from China. Or obviously, those people are going to be Latin American or Chinese. But most of the people I write are from predominantly white countries. So I feel the need to write more characters just to have a balance, a storytelling balance. And also, it's not just the nationalities or the race. It's also the body types. Not all my characters can be just fit, average height, not fat but not thin. My characters have to be have to have variety. Like one can be bulky, the other one can be small, a different one can be just fat. Just because people don't like seeing the same all the time. And just a small thing, I don't want to talk about this like for too long. I have two characters actually that it's kind of a funny story. First time I drew them, I made a mistake, and one character had to be, because they were based on mythology. So one character had to be a female, and the other one had to be a male, like a male deity and a female deity. But I made a mistake, and I thought the female god or the female goddess was in the actual mythology I was basing my story in. I thought it was a man, and the other way around. I thought the man was actually a woman, so I drew them as such. I just made a mistake and I swapped their genders. But as I realized my mistake, I thought it was an opportunity to add like a small plot point that it's not really important. It's just a funny lore thing where these deities had, for some reason, exchanged their genders. Just they made a pact or something like that, and one became a woman and the other one became a man. But it's like, well, basically they are transsexual characters. It's not like I feel the need to mention it because it's absolutely not important. It's just lore. But I talked to some friends about it. If I want to write books for kids, for children, I want to make such a point, like really innocuous, not important. I don't wanna see people feeling that my story is trying to push an agenda, because I don't want to push an agenda at all. I don't want to see people criticizing me for not for being offensive, basically, because there's always someone who's gonna be offended at what I wrote. I don't know. I feel like I have to be very careful, because I just want to show that it's just a fact that these characters are something. It's not a plot point. It's not important. It's just something that happens, and I want to be very careful when I write this. Anyway, I hope you I hope you enjoyed that story about my characters. Anyway, moving on to the next topic. This one. Well, I don't want to make it long, but this one's big. Tekken 7 finally came out, and I just spent like 160 fucking euros or bucks, however you want to call them, in that fucking game, because I got the Ultimate Collector's Edition with the Season Pass and the pre-order DLC, everything, and I'm just having so much fun. I was never a huge Tekken fan. I have one or two Tekken games, because at one point I wanted to try out all the famous fighting game franchises, So I said I need a Street Fighter game. So I spent $10 buying the Super Street Fighter 4 portable edition. I need a Tekken game, so I did the same. I bought the portable edition because I'm just a portable fag. I have a 3DS, and well, I think Super Street Fighter 4 and Tekken 3D are very good in that system. Are almost must have. I think they are super enjoyable, and I think that's the only Tekken game I had. But I was hyped up for Tekken 7. It looked super amazing. It looked a lot of fun, especially for the new because of the new super moves. They look like something casual friendly that I was gonna enjoy, and I spent this whole weekend just playing with a friend, streaming a bit on Twitch with like two spectators. I didn't really mind. My friend said, "Hold on, if you wanna play some friendly matches, just let's stream it for no reason." So we did that. We played a lot of friendly matches. We met and spent hours. This Saturday, we went to bed at 4 a.m. I know that's not too wild, but we were just playing and playing and playing. We couldn't stop playing. We only stopped because we were so tired. We were underperforming. The game is fucking amazing. I'm enjoying every second of it. The story mode was short, not too amazing story wise, but it was enjoyable. The final fight was, I think, what a final match in a fighting game history mode has to be. It has to be this epic thing with some sort of nostalgia to it. For example, in Street Fighter 5. I bought it just as the story mode came out, and the last match, I think it's after the credits, Ryu and Ken fight each other, and there's this remaster of the Ryu song, I think, and the story mode was just, well, okay, it's okay, and this match alone, I was so hyped. It was just so it felt so hype that I think that just that match was worth the whole story and buying the game. And I think it was the same for Tekken 7. Like, the story mode wasn't amazing, but the last match, the music and everything was so enjoyable. I think it's just worth the whole game. And not only that, you have a lot of things. You have many single player options, like the story mode, for example, which is extensive. You can play as almost every character in the main and side stories. You have some sort of secret boss. There's Shin Akuma, which I spent like 4 hours in a row just playing non-stop yesterday. Just playing Shin Akuma non-stop, not winning a single time for maybe 4 hours, as I said. And only in the last hour I managed to bring him under a quarter of the original health. But his defense is really high. He's got health regen, like regeneration. He said his health is constantly going up. He's got he's a Kuma, so he has this super meter that he can use to power up moves and do EX moves. But he can, normally if you're playing as Akuma, you have to charge it up, but this Shin Akuma in the story mode can just charge it up in one move. So basically he technically has unlimited EX moves. He has this as the difficulty is really high, so if he lands a hit, he's going to take almost half of your health, if not more. And the main thing I struggle with, and I haven't been able to beat him because of this, is the focus attack from, if you played Street Fighter 4, the focus attack was an attack that you went into some sort of defensive position, you took a hit, and your health went down a bit, but you took a hit and didn't move, and then you could strike back and leave your opponent stunned for a full combo, and the health you lose could be regenerated. So this Shin Akuma can do EX focus attack, which is just, he goes into a defensive stand, he can take a couple of hits, whatever you're able to hit him with, and then he just goes forward and hits with an unblockable move. By the way, it's unblockable, and if he hits you with that, it's half of your health because he makes the full combo. So I'm really struggling with that. Also, I cannot wait to finish recording this so I can go ahead and play a bit more. And anyway, Tekken 7 is just amazing. As I said, story mode, you can just spend hours playing story mode and side stories. You have arcade, you have this sort of treasure collecting modes. You have you can also edit your characters and make costumes for them. Heihachi, for example, Heihachi shares the voice actor with, well, this Tekken 7 Heihachi has the same actor as Joseph Joestar from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, old Joseph. And as a joke, I gave him a Joseph Joestar costume, and he looks almost spot on. He looks very much like the character, and I made like it's kind of a meme. I think Vinesauce made it. You can make a Skeletor costume for some characters. I've seen people make Guilty Gear costumes. There's also, I think I want to try to make a Metal Gear costume from Dragunov. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities. Even if the edition is not, it doesn't have much variety. But if you have imagination, you can do a lot of different things with it, and it's super fun. And obviously, Tekken 7 coming out in 2017, in current year, it has to have online mode, and it's really good. It runs perfectly almost. In PC, it's really good. The online mode runs with very little latency if you're playing on a decent connection. The loading times, as far as I know, the loading times are better in the PC version than in the PS4 version. I would recommend getting the PC just because it's $50 instead of 70 like in consoles. Anyway, Tekken 7, I really recommend it. I've never been a fan, but I think this game is gonna make me a Tekken fan for life. I feel like just by playing this whole weekend, I feel like I'm just the biggest Tekken fan ever. I've enjoyed it a lot. And as I mentioned before, just moving on to the next topic because I don't want to talk too much about the one thing. I've been streaming this weekend just a bit on Twitch, and I've been thinking of maybe streaming more often, fighting games and stuff. I have a full-time job, so I'm not able to stream a lot of time. I would be able only to stream on the weekends. But anyway, I think it would be fun. It's not like I want to get money because I don't get money from YouTube either, but I still do it. I don't know. I might try to stream a bit more. I just wanted to say this. I have like streaming written down in my script, but it's not like I have much to say. I just want to say maybe I'm gonna try it a bit more in the future. So speaking of fighting games, I was speaking of Tekken 7. The other one big fighting game that's coming out this year, that's not Injustice 2, still hasn't come. This one still hasn't come out, and I'm really excited for. In fact, I intend to get the full collector's edition, which is like $200. Apparently, last week there was a full roster leak. Every single character in the main roster, not counting DLC, was leaked, and it was very, very underwhelming for most people. The Marvel side of things is just MCU, except it has Captain Marvel, which I like, but it's really boring. It's just MCU. It's Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, not much more. There's rumors of Venom being a DLC, which is nice. I like it because it's basically a legacy character from Marvel's Capcom. I like that, but it's really underwhelming. And in Capcom side, we have just average characters and characters that I feel like I don't know why they are coming back. Some like Dante are alright. Dante is popular, so get him in. But I don't know. I feel like there's really unpopular characters in there, characters that people weren't exactly amazed for. The only two characters I cared for were a Monster Hunter. I've been a fan of the Monster Hunter franchise since Monster Hunter Freedom came out in the PSP. I feel like I was a kid when that came out. I don't even know the year, but it's a really long time ago. I've been playing Monster Hunter since those days, and I'm really glad that finally Capcom is representing the Monster Hunter franchise in some of their crossover games. And the other one I'm excited for is Jedha from Darkstalkers, which I think it's a really original character, even if it's just like Dark Messiah, Death, Grim Reaper kind of character. I don't know. I think his design is really original. Like, how is it made? He's just this wizard that can shapeshift because of his blood. Like, he can make his arm longer just by turning it into blood and things like that. It's one of my favorite characters from Darkstalkers, actually, because I think it hasn't aged at all. It looked really good when it came out in Darkstalkers, but if you play the game nowadays, Jedha feels like a design that could have come out now. It's really nice because it feels timeless. And I also, what can I say? I like playing as him. It's a fun character to play as. So I'm excited for Jedha in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, but for every single other character that's supposedly in the roster, let's confirm. This isn't confirmed. Like, we have to be sure that this isn't a sure like a confirmed roster leak. It's just a rumor. It might be wrong. People say that it's probably right because the source of the leak has been reliable lately, but I don't know. I want to have hope. I want to think it's gonna get better. And if this is the real roster, I want to think that DLCs are going to make it better. Venom is already nice. Sigma from Mega Man X is already pretty decent. So what can I say? I'm just excited for a couple of characters and nothing more. But I still have hope. I still want to get the game. I still have hope in Capcom making a decent thing. Like, for example, I like Street Fighter 5. People hate it, but I am a scrub at fighting games, and Street Fighter 5 is easy to get into. I don't think it's the game you should play for your life. But I think if you're trying to get into fighting games and don't understand much, Street Fighter 5 can teach you the basics. So I like it because of that. And I think maybe, considering how Capcom is acting lately, MVCI is going to be the same kind of game, the my first fighting game kind of game, but in these sort of crossover games which are more fast paced. They have air combos and all that stuff. I feel like MVCI might be some of the like that kind of game, and if that's the case, then all right. I'm really bad at crossover games, so why not get better? And if I get better at MVCI, I can move on to a better game like UMVC3. You know. Um, so, anyways, not a very amazing leak, but I still have hope. I still think the game is gonna be alright. And moving on to the next topic. Actually, this last Saturday, past midnight, when I was playing with my friend these Tekken 7 matches, I read on the internet that there was apparently a terrorist attack in London. As I heard, like, some people were riding in a car, they tried to run over some people in a bridge, and then they got out of the car and tried to attack some people. And as I heard, they were controlled really fast, like they were taken down in just a matter of minutes. But what can I say? It's not the fact. I talked about this a bit in the last chapter of the podcast in regarding the Ariana Grande concert stuff. It's not like I really care about the terrorist attack. It's like it's obviously horrible that it's happened, but we have I don't I mean, I don't want to I don't want to sound like the attack is not important and everything is else. Wow, fuck, everything else is. Um, it's not like the attack is less important. It's just that, like, we all know that the attack is horrible. I think we all agree in that. So, since I believe we agree that the attack is horrible, I comment on what happens after the attack, because I think we not everyone agrees with this. It's not like I think it's a bigger issue. I think it's a bigger debate. As you might imagine, it's the average paranoia that's happening after every single terrorist attack lately. People start doing this pray for whatever, not all Muslims, but some people are saying, this is a terrorist organization. I don't have much to say, really. I have one tweet or two that I have saved. I saved one tweet that says, "Any white people that died in London tonight deserved it. They keep sweeping, they keep spewing their filthy nationalistic bullshit. Fuck. It's really it's bad written. So don't blame me too much. Like, I'm at fault because I'm terrible, but don't blame me too much because it's not very correct. So this the tweet ends up saying this is what they get." And there's these other tweets saying, "I really want the driver to be white. Please let them have no relation to Islam. Please let this be an accident. All I can think is, please let the driver be white. Please let them be white. Prove these idiots spewing hate speech wrong." Obviously, this person in the last tweet was proven wrong. And the only thing I can say about the other one who said people deserve it is he's just a fucking asshole. Anyway, the only thing I want to comment really about these terrorist attacks, the only thing I can really say is I'm feeling this sort of movement that always happens before, after a terrorist attack. It's always the not all Muslims pray for this, pray for that. It's just crazy people. It's just an extreme ideology. But what I feel like, they always say not all Muslims, and I think at this point we are fucking sure, most of the people at least, there's already alright, there's gonna be some mad people who say yes, all Muslims are like this, the whole religion should be eradicated, but it's just a minority. Most of the people, we fucking know it's not all Muslims are like that, like, we are pretty sure that people who are so extreme, they kill people from their same religion, because people from ISIS basically kill Muslims. They kill everyone who they believe is an infidel, even those who they know they share a religion with, but they think they are doing that religion wrong, so they deserve being killed. Like, we know not all Muslims are like that, because there are Muslims getting killed by ISIS, so I think all I can comment on is we shouldn't act like everyone believes, like the all Muslims are like that is we shouldn't act like that narrative is widespread. At this point, I think it's just a minority of people, and it's not like all Muslims are like that. But if we let Muslims indiscriminately in our country, there's always the possibility of one being fucking crazy and being an extremist. It's not like all Muslims are like that. It's more like some Muslims can be like that, because it's been proven to be a potentially toxic ideology for some people who are already fucked in the head. The Islam can be a damaging ideology, same as there's extremism in a lot of ideologies. So I'm not only talking about Islam, but if some people can be fucked up in the head because of that religion, it's not like we're saying all of them are like that, but some of them could be like that. So that's where our paranoia sort of comes from. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much about this anymore, so I'm gonna just move on to the next topic. And the next topic is actually tattoos. It's sort of like personal stuff. I don't want to talk too much about this because it doesn't really matter. It's not important, but actually I have one tattoo. If you've seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, like the anime or the manga, or you know anything about it, I have the Joestar family birthmark on my shoulder, like behind my shoulder. It's just a star, a small star behind my shoulder, but it's just a reference to the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure manga and anime. And since I was a teenager, I thought of getting tattoos and everything. I never thought about getting too many, and those I want to get, I want them to be in some place that I can hide, like not too low on my arm, just somewhere that I can hide with clothes. And the place where I got my first one, which is the Joestar Star, they are having an anniversary event and they're having some discounts. So I believe I'm gonna get one because I have money now. I might get the small one, and the one I'm thinking the most is the Super Smash Brothers Melee, the Fox Shine, or Fox and Falco Shine, like this blue hexagon that they have when they use their down B, the shield, the reflector shield. I've been thinking of getting a small blue hexagon, the blue shine, basically. I still don't know exactly where I'm gonna get it, but I feel like this month I'm gonna have that tattooed on my body, and I have plans for some other tattoos. Like, if you've seen Ghost in the Shell, Motoko Kusanagi, the protagonist, has these data ports on her neck and also some marks on her back. And I've seen some people who have that tattooed, and I want to get the same, but it's big and expensive, so I'm not gonna get it now. Obviously, as it's bigger, I want to think thoroughly about it. I also thought about getting Jet Set Radio logos, like the three main gang logos, tattooed somewhere, not too big. That's what I'm thinking about. Also related to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I thought of getting, like the kanjis, the rumbling sound kanjis in my chest. That's one that's also big, and I'm doubting about, but it's an idea I have. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get it, and also as it's bigger, it's gonna be more expensive than just a small thing. And I thought today that I liked the Asian kind of like Yakuza tattoo aesthetic. I don't know if it would look good on me, but I've been thinking that maybe I could think about getting one of those, like these Asian painting tattoos. I don't know. I just thought about it. I'm just giving it a thought. Like, maybe in the future I'm gonna get one like that, maybe in the shoulder or something. I don't know. As I said, it's just an idea. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna make it. I'm sure of the little ones. Like the star I have is very small. The bigger ones I'm still thinking about. So next topic I have here is my weekly, as I wrote it, my weekly gaming picks. Last Saturday, before meeting with my friend to play some Tekken, I went on a shopping spree in second-hand shops, and I bought a few games which I really like, and they are Persona Q Shadow of the Labyrinth for 3DS, which I believe is somewhat rare. I haven't seen it almost anywhere, and I was lucky enough to get a copy. I also got No More Heroes 2 for the Wii, but I don't have No More Heroes 1. I just bought it because it was my chance. It was cheap and I got it. I want to get 1 too. I got Star Fox Command, which is a DS game that most people seem to dislike, but I really liked when I played, so I thought, hey, I want to get a physical copy of this one. Also, I got the Metal Gear Solid digital graphic novel, which is supposed to be rare, or at least difficult to find. Not necessarily expensive, but difficult to find. It's not even an amazing game. It's just a recreation of the Metal Gear Solid comic in digital format with a few Easter eggs and stuff. But as a fan of Metal Gear Solid, I felt that that one had to be in my collection. And the last one I got was Reading Thief for 3DS, which is, I think it came out early in the 3DS life cycle, and I always wanted to try it, but it was like $20 or something, and I didn't feel like paying $20 to play just a random game. I always wanted to wait until it was cheaper, and I found a really decent copy for a cheap price, so I bought it. And what can I say? I still haven't played most of them. I just started playing Persona Q now, but honestly, I'm just playing Tekken 7. I can't wait to play more Tekken 7 after I'm finished recording this. And I don't know, Persona Q is looking fucking amazing. As I said before, I want to play a lot of Shin Megami Tensei games. I played them back in the day when I was just a teenager in high school. I really like them, and now that I have more money and more passion for collecting games, I just want to get those that I like the most. And Persona Q was one I wanted to get since it came out, so that was really cool. Next topic I have noted down was Laci Green. If you don't know who she is, she was prominent social justice warrior slash feminist YouTuber. She focused mainly on sex ed. She didn't really talk a lot about social justice. She wanted to spread educational content to people in their teenage years, which I think is a good motivation. She wasn't ill-minded at all, so that's cool. Even if she was involved in some controversy, like the day Trump got elected, she said some really nasty stuff on Twitter, and everyone called her out because of that. I even mentioned that in one of my videos from called the Trumpocalypse, I believe. But now she's made a couple of videos titled the Red Pill 1 and 2, and the people in her past community, the social justice warrior slash feminist community, are really criticizing her just because she believes she has to be open to dialogue with people she really disagrees with, because that's what we are supposed to do: talk to people we don't agree with to open our mind. And people in her community are starting to hate her, and she's starting to dislike that community just because they hate her, because she has common sense. And apparently, I believe Saturday or Friday, people were rumoring that she's dating Chris Reagan, some sort of I want to say anti-social justice warrior YouTuber. And I don't know. I think if you want my unnecessary opinion, I think they make a cute couple. And speaking in nasty words, Laci Green, after a good dicking, she has changed her mind for the better. I don't know. I just wanted to comment on that. It's not that I believe it's a good thing that she's changed from the social justice warrior side to the sort of skeptic side. I think she can do whatever she wants in that regard. But I think it's good that she opened her mind and talked about good dialogue. And actually, because she did this, she unintentionally exposed her community, who just appeared like a bunch of assholes who don't want someone who speaks to the enemy. In a way, I don't know. I think it's sort of interesting to see that movement. I think thanks to her, we are seeing how toxic that community is. And just to wrap things up, I asked in my Facebook page, as I've done the two other episodes, I asked on my Facebook if people wanted me to talk about something in particular, and my boy Carlos from Puerto Rico, I believe, said I had to talk about fidget spinners. I have in my house, thanks to my sister, I have two fidget spinners. Um, I like small toys, so I play with them, but I don't really care. I don't even know why they're such a sensation. I think I'm the dumb one for liking them. I feel stupid for liking them because I'm like a child. I like toys, and all I can say about them is I don't understand why they're blowing up. I kind of like them because they are just toys, and I'm thankful that my boy Carlos has suggested this topic, because now I can put it in the description and get that filthy views from the recommendations. You know, if you make a video about fidget spinners, it's trending now, so you get that extra money. And that's gonna do everything for this video. This morning I thought it was gonna be shorter than usual, but it's turning out pretty long. So I'm okay with this. I hope you enjoyed my ramblings for quite a bit of time. I think this episode has turned out nice. There's been a lot of topics to talk about. I think it's been interesting, even if I only talked myself. Next week in my main channel, I'm gonna have at least one guest, I believe, if everything goes right. So I hope you are able to see that, and if you're not, then well, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to bring English-speaking guests to this one, but I'm not sure if I really can. Anyways, don't forget to comment if you enjoyed this, or if you have any suggestions. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter to follow my interactions. For some reason I start streaming, you can receive notifications there. If I ask for some topics or something like that, you can also come there. You can hit me up if you want to play something, because I have no friends. Don't forget, as always, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, if you want to have something to listen to while you do your daily stuff. That's what podcasts are all about, after all. And anyway, let me know if you like this, please. I have no friends, I have no feedback. See you next week.
You never see it coming.